Hey everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Snapchat. I'm joined today, as I always am, by Cozy Snap. Cozy, we got a lot to talk about today. Got a lot of fun topics, and the first topic, of course, is going to be Infinity Ultron. We both came in a little hesitant on Infinity Ultron at a 2.5 stars. I ended up at 3. You ended up at 2. We both came in at 2.5, and then you drifted down, I drifted up. Cozy, Infinity Ultron's not great, I'll be honest. But I want to give you a little bit of credit for something because I think that you absolutely nailed something about Infinity Ultron. So first of all, your 2 assessment is correct. He's running a win rate in like the mid 40s, 45, 46, 47% we've been hovering him around. The best performing decks are an Arishem deck running a 56% win rate, but that's an Arishem deck that has literally him forced in. So it's not really like his design. Where he was by far the most fun, though, and this is where I want to give you credit, despite the fact that the competitiveness didn't prove to be
long-lasting.
It didn't prove long-lasting. Surfer ended up being a really fun spot for Infinity Ultron. And I had to laugh. And even in my kind of first impressions video, I had to give you credit. I was like, you know what? It's funny because on the Snapchat, I did not even consider Ultron and Surfer. Cozy did. And I didn't give you a hard time, but I kind of pushed back. I gave you a little bit of pushback there. And you know what, sir?
Still
you
cooking.
Nailed it. It was the best place for Infinity Ultron for the most part.
Still cooking, man. Still, it's always been my favorite part is the, hey, listen, even an idiot is right every now and then. So if I come up with enough copes, one will land. But yeah, it definitely, that was the place to play, right? And just, because kind of what we were talking about was strange, right? When you try to put something into a deck that's already doing its thing, then it can still do its thing to success. And most decks were built around Infinity Ultron trying to get him to work, whereas Surfer is built around Surfer, and then the Infinity Ultron thing was just the extra spice on top.
It was, and the Mind Stone, basically the mini Wong, was insane.
That was the
Surfer. It felt like absolute free real estate. But I think the challenge around that deck is that like if you're playing something like a Quinjet, it's like you're starting to cope a little bit. Like you're starting. Remember how we were saying before with the Strange Supreme? If you're leaning too far into what, like Quinjet doesn't make sense in a Surfer deck. Like you don't want to play Quinjet, but you're playing it for the sole reason of getting kind of more use out of the stones. You're reaching a little bit. So the way I was approaching it was, if you have Infinity Ultron and you get that Mind Stone, then that's cool. Maybe you only play one of the stones. You don't have to play both the stones. We were also playing Magic, but Magic felt like very low tempo for something like Surfer. Yes, it's a 3 and it gets hit, but ultimately it didn't feel like the right way to play it. Is Infinity Ultron's cooking over? I actually think this is probably a buff candidate.
Yeah, probably.
It is definitely underperforming. And this is a great example, by the way. A great example of the reason why you don't FOMO into things. And in my review, it's funny because I said, did I have fun playing this card in Surfer? I did have fun, but do not get this card. I do not get this card because we have a new monetization system coming. You want to save your resources for that. And I think we're at a point in Marvel Snap where there's cards coming out every week. And if you want to be competitive, you need to focus your resources there. And FOMOing is the worst thing you can do on your resources. And overall, I think that most people were kind of down on Infinity Ultron. We came in very skeptical. But man, like I do find myself a little disappointed in how it played. Although they have so many dials here. Every stone's a dial. The card itself is a dial. So this is probably a buff contender, I think.
Yeah, it is. But also I fear that they won't, because it's like I think there's a lot of dials, but it's tough to, like, if they just increase the stones by 1 power or something, like, is that gonna do it? No, it's a cost issue, right? I think that's whether it be the stones or Ultron, it's a cost issue. And I feel like he's a delicate flower to buff, because he can be. It won't take much for this guy to be crazy. Like, it's one of those, like, because we see it all the time, right? Like, power's never an issue, but then when you start messing with the cost, it can significantly impact the card very quickly. And of this caliber, I don't know. I want to be wrong here. I hope they do buff him up. That's more than just a couple power points.
Yeah, and I think, like, could be a cost reduction on him, but it could be very simply a cost reduction on the stones. Like, reducing the cost of stones is not out of the question. And it's worth noting, too, that, like, but then, okay, if you reduce them to 2 costs and mitigate their power a little bit, keep the same effects, you still have a turn 6 with 2 extra energy unless you have another card. So that's a little awkward. If you move him to turn 4, or if you turn him into a 4 cost,
The best 4
if his stone still costs 3, you can't play them both on 5. They're still awkward on 6.
A 4 is still really good though, dude. If he was a 4 cost, I think he'd be a solid option.
Because you could play him on 4, Sarah on 5, and then now the stones are 2 costed alongside your Surfer plays.
Yeah, and you got the Zabu.
Now I'm only thinking Surfer.
You got the Zabus, man. You got, you can. There's a lot of ways to mess with 4 cost cards as we've seen. Like 5's always been that tricky slot, which I saw as a lot of the feedback. It's like, oh, gee, Luna was like almost essential in the builds for him, right, to make it feel really good. And a lot of people did not get Luna.
No, but they shouldn't have either. Like, Luna was not worth getting on its release.
Especially.
It was our lowest ranked card of that season. It came out as a 3-5, gets buffed to a 3-6. 3-6 stat line with, I mean, a mirrored upside is significant. Like, make no mistake. And also, here's the other side to that. Don't you want a card like Luna to be relevant at some point? Like, isn't that a good thing that a card that might be in people's collections that has been seeing almost relatively no play is now playable with a new card being released? That's a good thing. Yes, it can be frustrating for those that are like, well, do I have to lean into Luna Snow? I mean, there's wave and stuff. There's ways to mitigate it, but that's a good thing. We want cards to lean on cards that might not be seeing a lot of play.
You know what I was thinking too is, like, remember we've had this conversation a lot about cards when they release. Do we want them really good or lean on the side of caution? This is our first month, I think, we've seen a lot of these cards lean on the side of caution on release and ultimately are coming up flat, right? Or at least through a lot of people. And then I'm now seeing stuff from creators and players alike that they want these cards to be better. They want better, stronger cards on release. Can't have your cake and eat it too, but I don't know. I see now that we're getting a lot of kind of undertuned cards, it's like, well, let's get some bangers. It's a tough, man. You can't have the Surturs. You can't have the, honestly, Captain Carter, or what have you. I feel like when we go back and look at our rankings of the month, I'm scared for both of us.
Oh, but yes, this is every single month. I'm always scared. But, like, also, things age in Snap particularly interesting, right? Like, a card like Anti-Venom on release doesn't look great. Ends up ultimately being decent, like a good card. It's definitely a good card, right? And there's other cards. We brought it up last week. Diamondback, I think, is an incredible card in Snap. I think it's absolutely no respect. No one's talking about Diamondback. It's a fantastic card. And so we are getting some bangers that do fly under the radar. Put it this way, there is a best deck out there that no one's talking about and hasn't been cooked yet. It's out there. There's a deck that could absolutely crush the meta that no one's cooked yet. And we just got to figure it out. We got to put the pieces. We got to build that recipe, get that thing cooking, right? But another thing worth noting is that you do have a spotlight cache of Cannonball, Pixie, both Series 4 cards. This is a very skippable week from a Series 4 standpoint because those will be in lesser expensive snap packs. Also, Pixie, complete garbage. I tried to play it. It needs to be a 1-drop. We've said it like 4 weeks in a row now. Pixie needs to be a 1-drop, not a 2-1. Not a 2-2. It needs to be a 1-2, just like Loki is. Cannonball is a Series 4. Is a legit card. It's still seeing play in the Scream decks, which continue to be meta contenders. But again, you'll be able to get it cheaper in the Series 4 packs. So ultimately, Cozy, what are your thoughts on Infinity Ultron? Roll or skip?
Yeah, definitely skip. I feel like he's the first card in a while, too, that had this, I don't want to say big bad potential, but you know what I mean? Kind of that flavor that has fallen flat. If you think about it, I think Agamotto did ever so slightly, like it was a very good card. But like High Evo, you know, up to Thanos to Arishem, like all these cards that come with this really unique, like even Dormammu, we were like expecting high praise for, high things. This was a card that has a super unique thing going on. Didn't cut it.
Yeah, it's like the design landscape of it demands attention, almost. Like, effort went into that card. But, like, if you compare it to something like a Nico, it's not even close.
Were there
Nico's
any videos
unreal.
this week that had Ultron, Infinity Ultrons cracked?
With surprise Pikachu faces and stuff?
Just, yeah, title, Infinity Ultron's the best card in the game kind of thing.
Come on, you know how YouTube works. Of course there was.
Okay.
Yeah, but ultimately, Infinity Ultron is a pass, underperforming, win rate in the mid-40s range. And again, it's a great example as to why FOMOing into cards is not the right way to do it. Save your keys, because there's some other cards in Marvel Snap that just might be the most played. And that, my friend, is our next topic of conversation.
Great transition. That was a 10 out of 10.
Really? That was a good one? You like that one? I'm glad. I'm glad that we're on the fly reviewing the transitions now, which obviously derail the transitions themselves. The segues, as they call.
Yeah.
It just kind of nullifies the effect of the segue where we have to talk about the segue every single time.
Bro, I have a question for you, an off the cusp question. 1 through 10 right now, like how tired are you? Just like right now, is at this given moment.
Is 1 like really tired, or is 10 really
once
tired?
you're sleeping, right? Or like 1's like actually okay. If sleep is 0, 1 is like you're like doing like the whole like you're nodding off, hanging on.
Put it this way: I haven't listened to a single thing you've said the entire.
Okay,
podcast.
that's fair. Okay, so you're like what, a solid 4, 3, somewhere in there.
I'm barely hanging on.
What's your
barely hanging on?
Do you remember in content creation your lowest number you've been?
There were moments where like I remember I was streaming Twitch drops, and I actually we have to run ads on a schedule, and during one of the ads I was like, I'm gonna take a shower. Like I have to, or I'm gonna block out.
You showered
mid-ad? During the ads I showered. I did a 3-minute shower, and people were like going nuts because like I actually pulled it off.
And the chair wasn't empty that long?
No, I came back as the timer went 3, 2, 1 from the ad run. Yeah. So I've showered like during the ads on Twitch.
My body's pretty broken right now. So like a 4 now, you're like a 1 then. That's not too bad. We've filmed lower than a 4.
Oh yeah. And you've been like super sick while being tired.
We've had like dangerously close 2s. There was one time I remember that I was like, I'll edit me out. Like I'll zoom in on you and I'll just close my eyes just for a quick. They said that when I give you the blank stares when they know I'm tired.
Dude, you know what? Okay, there's a couple things you guys went like, okay, some behind the scenes baseballs they like to say. I was so upset with you like 9 minutes ago when you yawned while I was talking. Because no, because know why? I can't look at the screen we're using. But like, so I can't, but because you yawned, I had to yawn while you were talking. And so if you look carefully, there's a moment where I'm like trying not to yawn and like openly yawn.
That's the worst.
It's like it looks so awkward, but like I literally I held a yawn in like almost like you have to sneeze, and you just like.
Once you get older and you're holding a yawn, you can feel something in your throat just give, and you're like, I'm dying. This is it. This is death. This is what it feels like. Yeah, man. I had to, and it came up. It snuck up there too. You were talking, and it just said, "Hey, what if you did this right now?" And I gave in. I like to think of my body a lot like what was that movie with the pills? I
thought you were about to go into like a "my body is a temple" conversation.
No, kind of. Is it Osmosis Jones? You remember that?
No, I don't know who Osmosis Jones
okay. For those that watch, I think it's I think it's that. All right. Bill Murray. Oh, dude, this was it's like it was like the germs and the cells, and they were alive. They were talking. You could feel. Let's move on. I can't.
I was gonna say the guys who always comment about us not being on topic are just absolutely livid right now.
Nah, they've already been firing away. They're pissed about my side already, so they're ready to get it go. What's our first card we're talking about?
Okay, so I figured we go down straight up by popularity here. And the first card, the most popular card in Marvel Snap. Should I quiz you? Do you have like the cards up? I'm not sure if you have the cards up. We're going based off of statistics according to Untapped. I'm going to actually just go across all ranks. I'm going to go ranks 30 to 100. The reason why I'm going to do this is because I just want the popularity. What are people playing according to Untapped? And the bot stuff doesn't matter because we're not going to necessarily talk about the win rate. 30% of games, Cozy. This card is certainly a card that you know. He, how do I give you a hint? He loves rings, 10 of them.
Shang-Chi has been the number one, I feel like, card played since
it is Shang-Chi. I'm trying to make it. Does he have 10 rings? Is that the thing? He does.
That was like there's subtle hints, and then there's like just give me the answer. That was the. You might as well have said like he kicks people. Like yeah. Well, maybe that would have actually been better. The rings. Like a 6 out of 10. What? So Shang-Chi's the number one.
Number one card in Marvel Snap right now is Shang-Chi at a 29.5% popularity. And again, this is according to Untapped. That does not surprise me. What surprises me are the people that play cards as if Shang-Chi doesn't exist. And what also surprises me, Cozy, is the number of decks I craft that just don't put Shang-Chi in them. And I know that the deck is better with Shang-Chi, but I'm like, no, I'm leaning into Kahori hard. You know what I mean? It's like, I need to make this Kahori deck work. I don't care about Shang-Chi. And it's like, okay, I got to take this out and just add Shang-Chi into it. Actually, you usually cut Kahori and add Shang-Chi and it's better.
Who's number 2?
Number 2, Cozy. It's funny you asked that because he's on your screen,
I knew it.
sir.
That's why I opened up with
Sam
him.
Wilson, Captain America.
Dude, that damn shield.
26%.
Damn shield, man. I see it every game.
It's getting nerfed, 100%. There's no chance he doesn't get nerfed.
What does he turn into? 2-2?
I don't know. Is 2-2 2-2's probably fine, especially since the shield's buffing him. If you're gonna make him a 2-2, do you change the shield back to a 1 cost so you can play Call Obsidian again? They just leave that. They just don't care
That's
anymore.
Gone because they said it was like that wasn't supposed to happen.
Well, it did happen, and I'm not forgetting.
Kitty pride.
Maybe this card needs to disappear for a while.
How do you even do that though? I don't know if 2-2 does that.
Here's the thing. Also, this might be a really hot take. This is going to be a super hot take that I'm going to get roasted in the comments for. I actually don't think this card warrants a 26% win rate, play rate. I actually do not think it's good enough.
It's pretty good, bro.
I think it's being played too much compared to how good it is. It's good, but it's not 26. It's not second best card in the game. And I think one of the reasons why it's seeing so much play is because the Scream Shell has been so consistently good, and it works perfectly in the Scream Shell.
It's a 2 cost. You know what you're getting. There's not a lot of guarantees and snaps, or having that little shield out there. That's a guaranteed enough. It's just so low risk for like some of you're getting points just for existing.
That's true. You are, and you're earning initiative early on, stuff like that. But like for example, Peak Goliath was way better than this card was.
Dude,
way better.
I just heard that as Peak Goliath, like a Pokemon. Peak Goliath. I heard that different.
Really? Okay. I actually don't know. So they added a new Pikachu. It's like a smaller one, Pichu.
Well, a new. Wait, you're saying new? Like you're like, you're saying that like there's this new thing called the interweb. Have you surfed the Pichu's been out since like 06, 04.
That long?
Yeah, he's been
so I could have searched up Pichu with what's it called, Netscape Navigator.
Oh yeah.
Could have gone to Ask Jeeves.
He was on Super Smash Melee.
Could have went on Alta Vista and searched up Pichu.
Pichu, did you play Super Smash Melee?
I have Super Smash Brothers Brawl. My kids play it all the time. Do you know what the play is for that, by the way? So so my kids are young enough that they're not really good at the games, but they want to play the games all the time. Mario Kart will drive for them, and they think they're awesome. Even like I have my son who's 3 will put down the controller and go get like candy and like treats, and then come back and win the race and celebrate, even though he physically did not hold the controller for 2 minutes of that race.
Proud of him.
But with Smash Brothers, you can't do that. But what you do is I say, guys, do you want to play on a team? They're like, yeah, we want to be on a team together. And I'll put them on a team, and then I'll put a super hard bot on their team, like a really good high-level bot, and then 2 really weak bots on the other team. So the really good bot is just booting and then like the victory screen comes up, and Kirby does the bounce around. They're like, yes.
It's a good dad. It's a good dad. I feel like my dad would put the hard bots on the other team, and he's like, you can beat them.
Man up.
You can beat, yeah, let me know when you beat them. I'm just like, I'm out there, I'm just sweating, man. Playing Fox. I had, man, yeah, Super Smash N64 was
you played Fox? I was an Ike main.
On 64. On 64. This is like back in the, it was like 8-man roster.
64, I mained Zelda, believe it or not.
Zelda wasn't on there. Link?
Yes, she was.
She was on
Zelda was 100% on there. Princess Zelda?
No.
She turned into Seek?
You don't want to go down this Thunderdome.
Oh, wait, no. You're talking about GameCube, not 64. You're the one messing up, bro.
No. In 64, I only had like 8 people, and Zelda wasn't one of them. GameCube had Zelda.
100? No, you are so wrong. This is like my entire childhood. I 100% played Zelda, and she had an ability that turned her into Seek, or like the
you're
ninja.
Describing everything correctly, but all of that was on Super Smash Melee, which happened to feature Pichu on the GameCube. And I will bet
I never owned a GameCube.
I will if you played Zelda. What do you want to lay on the line right now? Do you want to go with all pink whoever's wrong wears all pink. I don't know why. I'm just picking something random.
All right, that's fine. There's a chance that we're both right, and like it was one of those situations where they released the game on both consoles.
No, I'm just right.
All I'm saying, okay, let's make a definitive statement.
Sure. Okay. What's the definitive?
We need a definitive statement that you say yes or no to decide who's right.
I'll let you
Here's what I'll say. Okay. Was Zelda a playable character on Super Smash Brothers for the N64?
Okay. And my definitive answer, all in, I will delete my rival's channel, is a no.
You don't put yourself into that situation.
I don't need to worry about it, man. It's like
that's insane. I can't believe how wrong you are. And you're gonna first of all, I'm not gonna allow you to do that because I know you're wrong, and I care about you too much to delete your literal, like they're shipping you a silver plaque, and you're gonna delete it because you literally cannot remember this correctly.
I'm a Nintendo-holic, bro. I bleed. I used to. Not so much anymore, but I bled Nintendo. Super Smash music is in like 90% of my videos. I'll bet the family, bro. I bet it all.
Wow, this is insane. I don't remember what we're supposed to be talking about right now.
Give me another good card. What's another popular card?
Okay, so actually this is Zelda? Number 3, 20% play rate, and I'm eating crow here. Okay, just like you were brutally wrong about Super Smash Brothers, I was brutally wrong.
Died on the hill. Yep.
About Zabu, because I famously a couple weeks ago said that Zabu's not a good card. It's just all the 4-drops are so good, and Zabu's
not
being
once,
played a
but
lot.
multiple times.
I leaned into it. Am I willing to accept that I'm wrong? Hell no. I'll never admit I'm wrong.
Just like with the Smash
thing. You guys are wrong. Everyone's wrong. The stats are wrong, bro.
Next video, we're going to be talking about the Zelda thing, and you're going to still say, I played a bootleg version. You're going to...
I'll go get it right now and boot it up on screen. Right in front of you.
And look like a dumbass. Listen. You don't want this beef. This is my home.
I'm really trying to think of how I could have gotten this wrong. Like, I don't see how... Like, I literally mained Zelda... And Sheik, it was called. Her name was Sheik. Don't you remember?
Sheik. Yeah. Again, you're naming correct things.
What version of the game was that?
GameCube. Melee.
But I didn't have a GameCube. It's impossible, Cozy.
Hey. Anything's possible. I guess. Listen.
You're realizing you're wrong. That's the problem.
Oh man. Okay, you collect needles as Sheik, throw them all at once, man. She was yeah. Like you're saying everything correctly. But
okay.
I could almost name. You want me to name you the starting roster of N64 Smash? This is how you can. I don't know if I can name them all, but I can tell you it's Kirby, Pikachu, Yoshi. Okay, Mario, Link. If I didn't say that, Donkey Kong, Captain Falcon, Jigglypuff. Ness was one of the hard characters to get, and
that was like the yo-yo one that shot you across the screen.
Yeah, Pika Thunder. Kirby. I didn't name Kirby. And I think that's like the main gist of it. I probably missed out one because I forgot which ones I even said. But that was it.
Meta Knight? Was Meta Knight in it or no?
Meta who? No, bro.
Meta Knight.
Bro, that was like 2. That was like 3 away from that. That was on the Wii. See, I can feel your confidence.
Wii.
I can feel your confidence going away on you, Zelda.
The Wii. I had a Wii. Was it the Wii, not the N64, that I played Zelda and Sheik?
We go full circle. Here we go.
Oh no, maybe that's the mistake I made.
I
forgot the Wii existed.
You said it was your childhood.
It was my childhood.
We'll have to see.
Oh no. Now that you bring that up, I forgot the Wii was a console that like 900 million people bought. I definitely had Smash Brothers Brawl. It was Smash Brothers Brawl.
Wow.
Oh no.
The fact that I was right before we even hit next. I've never wanted to full ship. I've never wanted to full ship a statement of guarantee.
I'm like, how do I edit out these 20 minutes?
No, you're not. I will be so mad. I will never do a Snapchat again. I need all this in here.
I just realized I think I'm wrong.
Well, that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. I can't wait that it's all in one episode. It's just this full circle moment coming right back.
I was so confident too.
You were. There's a lot of confidence there. But listen, hey, I know you were confident. Like you were nailing the things correctly. So I'm like, he's played Zelda before on Smash. I was like, he's convinced it was on the N64. Hey, you know what though? We all learn. We all live and we all learn. You know, you got to live and learn. You know what that's from? Sonic.
Live and learn. It's from Sonic. Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Speaking about gotta go fast, I can barely think. Give me a couple other popular cards, and then we'll head to the Snapchat mailbag.
Okay, yeah. Considering this entire segment has barely been about, if the thumbnail was just Super Smash Brothers, you think people would get confused?
Is Zelda on 64? Yeah, and just like put a question mark, like 3 question marks. Yeah, you need to put that somewhere on the title though.
Coming in at 17%.
Okay.
Enchantress, which I think is very fascinating. Galacta at 15%. You have a variation of discard cards like Blade, Morbius, and MODOK coming in between like 15 to 18% as well. A tech card. Red Guardian, Cozy, 14%. Do you think that's too high for Red Guardian?
It's higher than I would have thought.
Yeah. It's higher than, I mean, it's honestly, I feel like Red Guardian is pretty much everywhere.
14 though. It's getting up there. What's like go ahead. Sorry.
A surprising card for me is Magic at 13%. I feel like I don't see Magic that often. 13% feels pretty high.
Magic, yeah, that's very high actually. That makes sense though. Is it, if it's like, no, that's pretty high.
Do you want to take a guess at what percentage Iron Man is?
Is it higher?
Keep in mind we are in the Agent Carter season.
Ooh, I'm gonna go.
I should have done higher or lower on you.
Yeah, hit me.
You think he's higher or lower than Magic?
Higher.
He's definitely higher. Yes.
Like definitely, like for sure. Like confidence of Super Smash levels, 64 Zelda. Sure, he's higher. I don't listen back to a lot of Snapchats. I'm gonna listen back to this entire one just to.
I'm so embarrassed.
Isn't there like, you know, when you're right and you're talking to your wife or whatever and you know you're right, but you're like, okay, we'll play this.
You know, in those situations, I will tell you as a man, I do admit when I'm wrong. Like I'm very good at that. When I make a mistake, I'm really good at it. And
when you know you're right.
What I'm really hoping for is that like we finish recording and I was actually right and you're wrong somehow. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for.
Hey, it's like have you heard that joke where it's like if Alex is wrong and his wife is right, Alex is wrong, right? If Alex is right and your wife is right, who's wrong?
Alex is wrong.
Yep, 100%. Okay, this is my favorite one. If Alex is right, but your wife is wrong, who's wrong?
Alex is wrong.
That's always my favorite one. So even when you go, oh no, it's the better one is when Alex is wrong and your wife is wrong. when both are wrong. You're still wrong. I think I may have just said that again. I have no idea. I'm at this point. Can we go to Snapchat mailbag?
Yeah, we may as well. We did not do this topic justice at all. If you actually find it interesting, a discussion about the most popular cards in Marvel Snap, let us know. Maybe we'll revisit the discussion at some point.
People are gonna live up. They're gonna love the Pichu conversation. The Zelda.
I'm so embarrassed, but we do have a couple questions from our Snapchat faithful. Let us know in the comment section down below if you're interested in asking a question of your own. We're gonna get to some Marvel Snap questions. Actually, let's start with a couple snappers. Felix asks, not every card needs to be good. Variety and different archetypes are what I value the most, so I don't mind something like Infinity Ultron coming in and adding some variability during games. You can never be quite sure how a game is going to turn out, which I think is great.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what what we thought it was going to be. And I think I would agree 100%. I think Ultron's a little bit on the... He still needs something to even be that almost, a little bit. Like Negative has that feel, and I feel like, what is it, low 40% for the win rate? That's a tough time, my man.
It would be. And our next question comes from Ty, and this is in reference to a conversation we had talking about other card games on your side of the Snapchat, Cozy. Are you guys talking about Star Wars Unlimited? If you are, then I want to mention that the artwork has definitely been improving over time. I'm a big fan of both Marvel and the Star Wars universe. It's cool to hear you guys played it, and it was a Star Wars card game that you were talking about. And yes, Cozy and I, we played it at PAX East. We played it together. That was actually a lot of fun. And hold on. So I bought, because we were playing a bunch of different card games. I believe I bought starter decks for Lorcana for us to play, and you bought the starter decks for the Star Wars, right?
I did. Yeah. I was in beta back when we played it. So they were like showcasing the game in its entirety. Alex and I just played each other in a little standard Magic this last week too.
That was fun. Yeah, we got the webcams out and everything. Did physical Magic together.
Yeah, did a little jumpstart packs for those that know the game. Who won?
Yeah, it's a great way to play Magic. It was actually fun. It was fun. Like we could do them more often.
Who won?
We definitely got who won. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. I'm having a difficult time remembering things lately. Unfortunately, my memory's very fuzzy. Cozy, if you could forgive me.
No.
Here's a fun question from Risen. Cozy won, by the way. This is what he won. Cozy definitely won.
Alex.
Question from Risen, and this is a question for Cozy. Emma Frost Rivals Edition or Arrow?
I didn't even, before I got to the or, I was just, I knew, I just said her. She wins. Or Arrow. Here's the thing. When Arrow comes to Rivals, it's over.
Has that even been? No, you can't respond to data mine stuff. I'm just trying to think.
It's not. It hasn't been data mine though. No. This is.
I don't think I did. Is this severe cope that Arrow's coming to Rivals?
I sent a 2-paragraph, strongly worded, I'd call it an essay, to one of the lead developers of Rivals and just said, please. That's all I put. I said, please, and then I sent it.
Okay. Wow. So you're taking Emma Frost on this?
Yeah, for now.
Should they change the text on White Queen's card to Emma Frost?
No, but I'll tell you what, man. I use a lot of these Snap logos in my Rival videos, and I'm pissed because I don't have an Emma Frost one. I had to make one from hand because they don't have that. They only have the White Queen, and people don't like put the 2 and 2 together. She's really good, though.
Well, they're learning. They're learning about the Snap, the Marvel universe, because White Queen is, I guess, another way to say Emma Frost. I can't, guys. It's like well after midnight here. All right, Mart Harmony. Honestly, I'm not even sure. I can't read at this point. At the end of Cozy's episode, you were talking about physical games. I would recommend Unmatched. It's a skirmish game with awesome little figures, and you battle each other with unique decks. No booster packs, but it's a collectible game, as there's lots of sets, including some cool Marvel sets. I think you guys would really enjoy it. So good shout out there, and I just thought, Cozy, we'd shout out some other games that we could...
Wait. I'm seeing if I played this. Yo, I've played this. This is really good. So I played the... good shout out. I played the Black Panther and Black Widow one with Winter Soldier. This is a great game. This was so fun. In fact, I thoroughly enjoyed this game. There's a lot of tacticalness to it. Bro, I feel like I brought this up on a video once with you, and I didn't know what it was called. I was like, I played this game with my brother. It was great. I got this at PAX, I think, man. I think I bought this game.
Really?
Yeah, I think I bought it for my brother, and then we played it at Christmas, and it was a banger. It's fun.
Well, I am going to PAX East, and maybe I will hunt this down.
It's a good one. Good shout out, but whatever your name, I still don't know your name because Alex didn't know it. But yeah, good shout out.
Well, I was gonna say that like there's a couple games that I really like Resistance, that kind of like the coup, like trying to figure out like who's the traitor type thing stuff is pretty cool. And actually, in one of my things that I want to learn, and shout out to friend of the show Dave Allen of Penny Arcade fame, who's going to be teaching me Netrunner, which I think is awesome. We gave it a shot at PAX Seattle, and looking forward to playing more Netrunner, which I know is super popular out there as a card game, and actually like it's almost being kept up by the community. There's like some interesting lore about the Netrunner card game, but yeah, there's so many good games, and just Cozy, there's not enough time. And there's too much space between us. Do I got to move to California so we can play more games together, or what?
One Night Ultimate Werewolf. You need to play that game.
Ultimate Werewolf?
One Night Ultimate Werewolf. It'll be their favorite game you've ever played.
Or Werewolf by board game?
There's this game called, I think, Bonanza. You're a bean farmer. And hear me out. No, I know. Hear me out. It's the best game you've ever played.
Best game I've ever played?
You're farming beans, and it's the best game you've ever played.
I can do that in Stardew Valley.
No, not like this. You can play Zelda in Stardew Valley.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Like, what was the game that had the turnip stock market?
Animal Crossing. Yeah. I'm using my mic as a pillow right now. By the way, go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to bed. We got to call it, man. It's like by the way, and we still have to like edit and everything. But that's not your problem. That's our problem. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate every one of you guys, and we'll see you on the next Snapchat episode.